David, it's good to see you. After all these years, every meeting feels like a reunion of old comrades who have weathered many storms together. Thank you for joining me. Your presence always brings a sense of perspective and calm, even in the most turbulent times. We've crossed paths in Washington, Jerusalem, and places best left off the record. Our shared experiences have shaped the way we see the world and the stories we tell. You've always provided clarity, which is rare. In a world full of noise, your insights cut through the confusion. Today, we're witnessing a moment that will be etched into history. It's one of those days that future generations will read about and ask us where we were. It's a day of reunions, but also a reminder of deep scars. The pain of separation lingers, even as families embrace once more. Before we dive into politics, I want to acknowledge the human element. Behind every headline, there are real people, real stories, and real suffering. For you, this isn't just news, it's personal. Your friends and family have lived this nightmare for over a year, feeling every moment of uncertainty and fear. I remember our late-night talks after the initial attacks. The despair was real. We searched for answers, for hope, and sometimes just for understanding. Now, as dozens of hostages come home, it feels surreal. The images of reunions are almost too powerful for words, a testament to the endurance of the human spirit. It speaks to the resilience of a people who have faced existential threats for generations. Their strength is woven into the fabric of their daily lives. This moment feels like a chapter turning. A new day is dawning, but the shadows of the past are never far behind. We've covered many stories of conflict and resolution, but this one is different. The stakes feel higher, the emotions more raw. The world watched in horror as families were torn apart. The collective heartbreak was felt far beyond these borders. For so long, the narrative was helplessness. Today, it's hope. There's a sense that change, however fragile, is possible. This is about the tears of joy at a military airbase, the first hug between mother and child, and the reality that for some, joy is mixed with grief. Not every family is whole again. Israel today holds both immense relief and profound sorrow. The nation breathes a little easier, but the wounds are still fresh. Let's try to make sense of it all. Together, we'll explore not just the facts, but the feelings and the future that lies ahead. Chris, you're right. This is deeply personal. For so many, this story is not just a headline, but a lived reality that has shaped every day for over a year. Seeing these people, these children, these elderly, step onto Israeli soil is indescribable. The relief and disbelief on their faces say more than words ever could. For over a year, the country was in suspended animation. Every gathering was incomplete, every celebration muted by the absence of loved ones. These weren't just names. They were neighbors, friends, family. Their absence was felt in every home, every street, every heart. The nation held its breath, praying for a miracle. Today, that miracle arrived, and the prayers of millions were answered in a way few dared to hope. Watching the first transport plane land, there was silence, then an eruption of emotion. The tension broke, replaced by cheers, tears, and embraces. Tears of joy, but also of release. A year of fear and anxiety finally let go. The weight of uncertainty, carried for so long, began to lift. The sight of hostages, thin but alive, walking into the arms of soldiers, will be burned into Israel's memory. Their resilience is a testament to the human spirit. It's our generation's Entebbe, a moment where the impossible became possible. A story that will be told for decades, inspiring hope and courage. But this joy is complicated. For every family celebrating, others mourn. The pain of loss is woven into the fabric of this day. This is the duality of life in Israel, triumph shadowed by loss. Every victory is tinged with remembrance for those who did not return. The celebrations are quiet, filled with sacred relief. There is gratitude, but also a deep respect for the cost paid. Today reaffirms a core tenet of Israeli identity. We do not leave our people behind. This promise is at the heart of the nation's unity. The lengths Israel goes to redeem a single captive is hard for outsiders to grasp, but it's the essence of the social contract. It is a commitment that binds generations together. Today, that contract was honored in the most dramatic way. The nation stood together, united in purpose and hope. The world and Israelis themselves are reminded of who they are. In moments of crisis, their identity is forged and revealed. This is a day that will never be forgotten. Its echoes will shape the nation's story for years to come. David, let's be frank. The world was watching, and the odds were stacked against any breakthrough. Many doubted a deal of this magnitude was possible. The skepticism was palpable, echoing through newsrooms and living rooms alike. The demands seemed impossible, the partners untrustworthy. Every side suspected the other of hidden motives and secret agendas. Analysts said the gaps were too wide. The will wasn't there. They pointed to failed talks and broken promises from the past. Many resigned themselves to the grim reality that these hostages might never come home. The pain of uncertainty became a daily companion. How did this happen? How did this outcome defy expectations and rewrite the narrative? The skepticism was rooted in decades of painful experience, years marked by conflict, failed negotiations, and dashed hopes. Negotiations were fraught with psychological warfare and disinformation. Every word was weighed, every gesture scrutinized. Families endured a daily roller coaster. Hope one day, despair the next. Their lives were suspended, waiting for a miracle. What skeptics missed was the relentless pressure from two sources: the families and a shift in leadership strategy. These forces worked quietly but powerfully behind the scenes. The families never gave up. Their determination became a beacon, inspiring others to join their cause. They built a movement, kept the issue alive, and gave the government a mandate to act. Their voices grew louder, impossible to ignore. Their moral clarity was the nation's conscience, reminding leaders of what was truly at stake. The second factor was a fundamental shift at the top. A leader decided the old playbook had to go. New thinking replaced old habits. Intense covert pressure, a credible threat of force, and a direct communication channel changed everything. The stakes were raised, and the message was clear. It was a high-wire act that defied conventional wisdom, balancing risk and hope in equal measure. That's why we're seeing these families reunited today. A testament to perseverance, courage, and the power of belief against all odds. You're talking about the American president's role. We saw President Biden travel to Israel, sending a clear message: don't escalate. But behind the scenes, what changed? How did his leadership alter the course? Public statements matter, but the real shift was the president's personal involvement. He didn't delegate. He was on the phone day and night with key players. He leveraged decades of relationships, making this his top priority. When the US president makes something personal, it changes the calculus for everyone. The decisive moment came when negotiations stalled. The president bypassed usual channels, establishing a direct, secret back channel. He sent his most trusted advisor with a clear, non-negotiable framework, backed by security guarantees and credible threats. It was a masterful use of American power and influence. This is what leadership looks like, making tough calls when the stakes are highest. The president put his political capital on the line, knowing the risks. He chose to act, absorbing the risk himself. That single decision broke the stalemate and brought people home. It was a true profile in courage. The president's commitment was more than rhetoric. It was a promise kept. For Israelis, seeing an American president embody support so personally was profoundly significant. It was a massive psychological boost for a nation that often feels isolated. Biden's words were backed by immediate, tangible action. His visit and constant engagement were the antidote to Israel's greatest fear: indifference. The Israeli people will never forget it. As the first images emerged, the emotion was overwhelming. A young boy, out of darkness, squinting in sunlight, a grandmother's embrace. The reunions are a flood of pure emotion. Tears, shouts, long embraces. For families, it's the end of a nightmare, but also the start of a new chapter. Beneath the euphoria is deep trauma. Survivors need immense psychological and medical support. The government has set up dedicated facilities to help them heal. The person who returns is not the same as the one taken. Reintegration is a challenge. Life moved on, but for them, time stood still. There will be struggles and setbacks, but also resilience. Their strength inspires the entire nation. Many viewers ask, how can I help? The Hostage and Missing Families Forum stands out for its direct impact. Born from the crisis, it provides advocacy and support for returning hostages and families. They address financial, psychological, and logistical needs. Donating means making a tangible difference, helping families rebuild with dignity. The healing process will take years, and this organization ensures they're not alone. Let's zoom out. What's the broader significance of this moment? The successful release, brokered by the American president, changes Middle East dynamics. It sends a message. American leadership, when focused, achieves the impossible. The U.S.-Israel alliance is now stronger than ever. This was a partnership, not a transaction. Intelligence sharing and coordination reached new heights. This bond will be the bedrock of regional stability. It offers a new model for engagement, peace through strength. This day will be a reference point for future diplomacy.